Hi, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and we are going to work on a pair of earrings using our Seafoam Sunrise bargain bead box. Now I'm going to use these beautiful half drilled, though mine, this one is the one that's drilled just fine. However, my other one is drilled sideways. See, it doesn't go down, it goes sideways. So I had decided right from the start that these were going to need to be wire wrapped. So let's turn down and I'll show you exactly what I plan on doing. So here's what we're going to do. I've got these like I said. What we're going to do is we're going to wire wrap them, and then we're going to hook it on to this female part of the toggle. Then we're going to take this wire and we're going to put the crystal here, with this little guy on top, and then our ear stud up at the top here. So it's gonna go like that. In fact, I could do that part right now, and then we could do this piece last, but I think it will be easier if we do our wire wrap first. So we're going to wire wrap both of these at the same time so that I can try and get them as close as possible. Now, if I was wrapping a large cabochon, I would want 9 inches of this. But since these are small, I'm only going to get 7 inches out. And we want 3 pieces of 7 inches per piece. And that's because we want, there it is. We want the, actually we probably don't even need 7 inches. We probably could make do with like 5 or 6. I think I will cut 6. Anyway, we want to wrap these mainly at the same time as much as possible in an attempt to keep them relatively the same. Maybe backwards to each other so that they are, they face each other opposite directions, but we still do want them relatively close in since they are going to be a pair of earrings. Cut the extra little bit off there. That's because when you flush cut, you've got one side that's flat and one side that's got a spot in it, and that's the spot. So we want that off. Now, if these aren't exact, we're not going to worry about it. It's not like if we were doing loop earrings or something, which has to be the same. These are going to go from the middle up. So if they're not exact, as long as they're relatively close, then that's fine. So that's the 3 pieces for one. Now we have to cut the 3 pieces for the other. And now one more piece and we'll be done with this wire. Okay, there's our 3 pieces for each. That aside. Now we'll want to take 3 pieces and put them to each side. One for you, one bunch for you, one bunch for you. And then we're going to get out some half round. Now the half round for this bottom part, again, we don't need a really huge long piece, I'm going to go about, well, I'll go about the 6 inches that I have in here, which is probably more than we need. So I'm not going to bother cutting the notch off, because I'm going to try and go from the middle and as much as possible. Now we'll keep this set to the side because we're going to need it again once we get up to the top. So we'll put one piece over here and one piece over here. So we want to get these as flat as possible. This is way different in size, so I'm going to cut that off a little bit. Now we want these to get, we want to get close to the middle. We want to get the flat side down. And again, close to the middle with this. It doesn't have to be exact. We're going to probably cut some of this wire off. So we're just going to wind about ½ inch to ¼ inch. Well, ¼ inch to ½ inch, I guess I should say. Okay, that's pretty good. So we'll take our clippers here, and we're going to clip these right here and right here. Oh, come on, you. Okay. Now that didn't clip as much as I wanted, so I'm going to clip it again a little bit, because we want these little wires to be in the middle of this. Now, a lot of times when I'm wire wrapping, I don't care if it's in the middle, but these are because this side that I'm squishing down right now, where the cuts are going to be on the inside. So we got that here. Put these little pieces aside. And then we're going to sort of try and form it around this bead. Now, because this is too soft with everything on it, I'm going to take this little mat out from here so that we don't have that much of a softness here, or as you know that it was before I took it out. Looks like we have some odds and ends, bits and pieces of things here, so we'll just rub that off the mat. Now, the reason, like I said, I did that is because your mat's soft and you don't want it to be too soft, or you can't form around this guy. And we do want to form around it. So and I don't think I have it right. See how it's one side's a little bit more rounded than the other side, so we need to figure out which side is the problem. And it looks like it's this side over here. So I'm going to put my thumb in here and see if I can't round it a little bit more, so that they're like so. And that looks quite a bit better. Now I am going to do one more thing, and that is I'm going to take my top piece here, and I'm going to find my twist pin. And everybody's going, what the heck do you mean by a twist pin? Well, I'll show you in just a moment. Okay, this is a twist pin. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the upper one, that's this one right here, Come on. This one. We're going to put it in my little pin twist, tighten it down, and then we're going to twist. Take that off, bend it back so she meets back in with the other ones. Now we'll do the same with the other side. So pull it out. Put it in the pin twist, tighten it down, and twist. Okay. Now we've got this one needs to be back in place, but just temporarily, because this is the one that's going to come across the ones there, and they're going to go onto the middle of our bead, so it holds it in place. So now what we want to do is just bring these together as much as we can, keeping these where they should be at in this around the stone. And we'll bring it up, and then the other side as well. Let's make sure it's going to sit in there properly. Come on, you guys. Looks like it doesn't want to, so we're going to have to play with it a bit till we get it to behave the way we want it to. Now this one's coming in already, and that's not a really big problem, but it is a little bit of a problem. So we want our bead to sit inside here, like so. And these all need to come together up at the top. Now, the next step, that one's inside. It shouldn't be inside. That's the top one. It should be up here on the top, like so. That's still not the top one. It's trying to go to the middle. It needs to be at the top. Okay. That looks like it's a little bit more rounded on this side than this side. See if you'll go in all right. That looks good. So now what we need to do is cut another piece of half round and do a little spin up the top here. I am just going to use this one I already cut so that I don't have to cut another one before we start the other. And you want to take this right here where you've got these coming together and wrap all of them about 3 or 4 times so they're pretty tight. That goes down that way. Okay, now let's pull you up and around one more time. Are you tight? I don't think they are. So let's go back till I can get them tighter. There we go. Now that we've got that like that, we want to take our ones that are in the back and pull them over sideways like so. And we're going to take our half round here that we're using, and we're going to start wrapping up our twisted wires here. And we need to go up far enough that we can turn this to be a bail, and this wire just turned back sideways on me. If you watch it, you can see when it does it because the coloration looks a wee bit different. Still sort of sideways. That's better. And it turned again. So we want to get it to stay as straight as possible. looks like we've got this almost to the top. I'm going to trim this a little bit. And then we're going to scooch it. Okay. Now we don't have a lot there, but we do have to pull it around. So I'm going to take my smallest bail. Actually, I'm going to take the second one, and we're going to bring her around till she comes back to the base here. And then we'll push it backwards a little bit. This is starting to spread our wires here. We don't want that to do that, so we're going to try and correct that to a degree. But now, so that's like that. Now, because we want this to go in here, we're going to just, and it's got no front and back, so we can just push it around and go through our, okay, that's the bottom one right there. So we want it tight, and then we'll trim it. And it can go right here beside this. Now I'm going to pull these back out because I do want my ring to go here. So then we're going to bring her back around, bing, bing, and I want this to go back to the back somewhat. Then we're going to wrap it around and through right there. And as you can see, it's going forward. I don't really want it to go that far forward, but we'll worry about that in a minute, because the first thing we want to do is get our wires back together because they are separating. There we go. And then this, we want these to go, which one is the, okay. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to squish these two because I want them to go through this loop the proper way. Then we're going to bring this one around this direction and this one around this direction. And I'm going to get this out of the way, and we'll take this one, the smaller one, and it's going to go down in here between. And I'm going to cut this little bit off that's right here. And then we'll squish it up in there. So then this one can come over here, and we're probably going to use it. I'm going to bend this back some because I don't want it to, the loop all to be forward like it is. But I'm not sure I can get in there with this guy. So we'll use the smaller one and just push her around like so. So she's like that. Now this one can go and go through here as well. But it's going to not be cut because I'm thinking I will probably spiral it. So we'll see. So the next step, bing, bing, is to put our stone in. So to put our stone in, what we want to do is get hold of the back one And I'll do that by putting a nail in there. And if I can't, then I'll find something else to easily get hold of it. Okay, so I've got the back one here, and I'm just going to flip it over like that. Not quite that much. There we go. That should do it. Now I need to do the same with this other side. There we go. There's our back. This one is a little bit. There we go. This is the back of our earring. So now we'll put our stone in. And we'll get the front one, or the one with the twists in it, and we'll bring it forward like so. Just a little bit. Now we'll do the same with the other side. Oop, got that one going a little bit more than the other one. We don't want that. So I'm going to push this one forward a little more so they're more even. Push this down here. Okay. Now our stone is trapped inside there. Like so. And it looks like it might be in there a little bit crooked, so let's see if we can't straighten her out some. Now I want this piece to come over here further, like so. Just cut a little hunk off here, and we're gonna go through here, and I'll hold it right here as I go around, and I'm gonna go through here. Come here, you. Take my pliers and pull her up a little bit. Actually want it down there a little bit more, so I'm going to pull it. And we'll feed her through again. And I'm going to feed this one to the back. Easier said than done. My ring's in the way. Bing. Okay. Come on, you. Go through there. There we go. Sorry if I'm getting off screen. I'm trying to see what I'm doing here. There we go. And then we'll cut these little strings here off and push them down. So there we go for that side. Now we'll do the same on the other side. Okay, come on, you. You have to go through like 2 more times. Oop, up here. Okay, so now these go to the back, cut them off, and tighten them up. Okay, now we've got those guys done. Next step is to do the twirls, which will go around the base of our bail piece here. So we're twirling these wires around the top here, and then these ones are just going to come all the way down, and they are going to wrap around a little bit. Now we have all these wires down here wrapping around. Some of them are going to not have enough room to do anything more. This one has enough. So we're going to get our, where are they? Needle nose pliers out. And we're going to do a tiny little spiral right here. And I say tiny because it's not going to be very big. And we're going to put it right down in here. Same with this one. You're going to just go right over the top of each other like that. This one needs to come down some. This one's going to go right there. And now you see that spiral is covering up the bad spot on the top of the little stone there, pretty much. And these guys, since they're smaller and we probably can't get any spiral out of them, they're just going to come over here, and we're going to tuck them into, well, I'm going to just cut them right here and we'll tuck them in the back here. You all can just tuck back here. So we'll tuck every one of them back in through our base here. ooh, damaged the wire a little bit. I'm going to cut this other one a little bit more. Okay. I was hoping to cover that with that spiral a little better. That, oops, don't grab the half round. Bring it over here a little more. There we go. So okie dokie. Now I need to work on the other one, or we need to put this one together all the way. What we're going to do to put it together is we're going to put this, hook this here, and then it's going to be this guy, well, bead cap, crystal bead cap, and our little guy there, and then we'll hook onto our right there. So that's the rest of this side, but let's get this one going on this side. So we do need to get, I think I cut 2 6-inch pieces, so we'll just get 2 more 6-inch pieces of this out. And then I think I had like a 4-inch piece to do those little round pieces here at the edges, so we'll just get 2 6s and a 4, and we'll put this wire out of our way. It's close, but it's not identical, so we'll live with it as it is. And now we've got this portion done, we need to start putting the top piece on. We're going to put our top part on, which is to take this, we're going to take this wire. Don't need these anymore, so we'll get them out of our way. Bend it over. Do our loop. And over and around, bring her over and leave a gap. So we're going to gap that, and I don't think I left a big enough gap for our piece to go into here. Okay, now I'll pull these together and hold them. Take another plier and do a couple of wraps. Oh, come on, you wrap. And that's the front, so we got to make sure that that goes all the way around. Well, anyway, I try. It looks better that way if it's not got the bend right there in the middle. So now we're quite crooked, so we got to straighten that up. So put your pliers in and pull this over. Same with this direction. Okay, she's looking pretty good there now. So now we'll put on our first bead cap, our crystal, our other bead cap, and our little tiny bead. So there we go. So now we're going to put it on our post, and since it's going this direction, the hole, we need our earring wire to bend this direction and over. Now we'll put our in and over and around, bring her over, make sure you leave that gap. Now, because this has a definite front and back, this is the front, we need to feed this in backwards. So over and through, and there she is on. So now we need to put these together and wrap again. And now I'm going to cut it back here and tuck it in. Ooh, what are you doing here? There we go. Though this still looks a little crooked down here at the bottom, so I'm going to see if I can straighten it some. And there's our first earring done. Now we just got to do exactly the same thing for the other one, and we'll have our earrings finished. So we bend this wire over, get our bell making pliers, put her in here, over and around and down, bring her over, leaving our gap, and feeding it on to our stone. So now we'll want to hold this while we wrap it 2 or 3 times. I think we have 3 wraps in that, so we'll try to do 3 here. 1, 2, 3. All the way around. Is this the front? Let's check our front. This is the front. So we want this to come over here just a little bit more, and then we'll trim it off. And tuck it in. Okay, now we want to see how straight that is, because we know it's not really straight. We got to straighten it. And then we have to put our beads on. So now we'll put our bead cap, our crystal, the bead cap, and the little Amazonite. Come on, baby, go on. Uh-oh. Almost lost it. Come on, baby, go on. Okay, looks like I may need to get the bead reamer out a little bit for this bead because it's very stiff. So just a little bit of a ream, because it didn't have a lot of stuff it needed. It just needed a little bit. There we go. And now we want, this is the back. So we want to make sure there's the front. So we want to bend to this direction. Do our loop. Make sure we leave our gap and push her forward. Now we've got, like I say, this is the front back, so this is our front. So we want to feed this in backwards so that as it goes around, come on, go around. There it goes. Now let's make sure it's facing forward. It is. So then we take hold of our two wires where they came together and wrap it up. Oh, come on, your wire, get out of the way. Cut this bit off and tuck it in. And now we need to straighten anything up. This one does need straightened up. See, the top is off to the side a little bit, so we want to take our pliers and just sort of straighten that. See about the bottom, it's also tiny going the other direction, so we'll just straighten that. And there we go. Now if you need to make any adjustments in your wiring and stuff, you can do that. My curly cues are a little different, but they're acceptable. So there we go. There's our earrings all done. Aren't those pretty? So there we go. We got them pretty well situated as far as length is concerned after all. Get that fuzzy out of there. They're not quite the same as far as the bottom is concerned, but they're close enough that I think that we're good. So there. So there we go. There is our earrings. There's the first one. Here's the second one. I think the length is still a little bit off, but I think we're all right. So those earrings are made using our Seafoam Sunrise from Bargain Bead Box. And I think they are turned out quite nicely, even though, like I say, the wire wraps aren't really close. They're close enough to make them be work, but I think they turned out really pretty. So anyway, this has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and we have been using the Bargain Bead Box Seafoam Sunrise to make these really pretty earrings. So we'll see you later. Bye-bye.